Men, President Obama, House Speaker John Boehner, and Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. This is their first big public fight since the power shift in Congress. So how'd they fare? David Drucker, staff writer of Roll Call, and it's good to talk about it because the parties will be gearing up after. We can remember President Obama said, David, that he's running for re-election now. So with the budget, at least this part of it out of the way, the debt ceiling next, they probably want to have their efforts applauded. Are there any heroes among the three?
Well, I don't know that there's a hero per se. I thought there were interesting moments to come out of this. First of all, I felt that last week John Boehner made a tactical shift in his sort of public persona and rhetoric, and instead of appearing as though he wanted to avoid a government shutdown at all costs, he began to appear as though he was willing to let the government shut down if he didn't get the deal that he felt was best for House Republicans and the country. And I thought that gave him more credibility with the restless conservatives and some of the Tea Party freshmen in the House. I thought that the president was interesting on Friday night because unlike the tax cut deal that we saw in December when he trashed it, even though he signed it, he embraced this, applauded the spending cuts, although he said he wished he didn't have to do it, but put forth a very positive spin on how this was necessary and how he's a part of it, and he really owned it. And I thought Harry Reid did what Harry Reid does best. You know, often in front of the national cameras he has foot and mouth disease, but there's really no better inside negotiator on Capitol Hill than Harry Reid. And on Friday, although it didn't occur to me right away, he spent all day attacking Republicans, for being against women's health. And whatever you think of the rhetoric, what it did at the end of the day was give Democrats a victory because they could say they protected Planned Parenthood funding. And you never have a deal without all sides being able to claim victory on something.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Who came out with more credit and credibility going forward? And the Planned Parenthood issue did bring Harry Reid out very vocally. Did that help him in terms of his strength and power on issues moving forward? Because there will be calls for more cuts. Will the American people be patient in terms of expectations that we need to cut our budget even more?
Well, that remains to be seen. The American people aren't always that patient, and particularly when you have true believers on either side of the political aisle, they want it all and they want it now. But I thought that, first of all, for House Republicans, I thought the deal helps give them credibility that they're not here to just slash and burn, that they're here willing to make reasonable, pragmatic compromises. And that means that they have a better chance of having the support of the full electorate that they're going to need to deal with both the debt ceiling the way they want to and Paul Ryan's fiscal year 2012 budget plan. I thought for Harry Reid, he showed that he's still a force for Senate Democrats, although, sometimes we're not quite sure who's pulling the strings. He appeared very much in control. I thought he did his moderate Democrats who are running for re-election in some tough states next year a service by allowing them to embrace a budget-cutting deal. Harry Reid was also very much in support of the deal after it was announced. He didn't say that it was something that was horrible that he was forced to do. Right. He treated it as something that was very positive, and I thought that also was interesting.
David, how does the debt ceiling vote go?
Jamie, that's a tough one because it's going to be a much tougher fight than this CR, this continuing resolution to fund the government through September 30th, because of the symbolism of asking members of Congress to raise the amount of debt that the United States can incur. It's a very big deal to conservative Republicans, to the freshman Republicans in the House and the Senate that ran on reducing the debt, and they've said they're willing to vote to do that, but only if they get a lot of things, a lot of new spending cut measures, budget cap measures, and things of that nature that I know Democrats and the President are almost never going to go for. And so it's going to be a much tougher negotiation because it means so much more to Republicans, to the Republican base, to conservative activists. And so this one is going to be a much tougher fight, and we're probably going to go a few more rounds here as we get close to that deadline. And I don't think it's a surefire bet that it's going to go smooth, because I just don't think Democrats are going to fold and give Republicans exactly what they want. Now, if Republicans are signaled by the President that he wants to do what Republicans want, in general, it might go better. And I think that might be good for the President's re-election to show that he's that serious about cutting the debt. But if it has the potential to be a much bigger fight.
All right, I have to leave it there. David Drucker, staff writer for Roll Call. Great insight. Thanks so much, David.
Thanks, Jamie. Good to see you.
Same here.
Well, tens of thousands of protesters taking to the streets